Donald Trump is either so cognitively not there or he's just so unprepared. He's now calling his own deals stupid. Let me explain what happened. So Donald Trump met with French President Emmanuel Macron in the Oval Office, and then Trump and Macron held a press conference. Donald Trump then attacked the deal between the United States, Mexico, and Canada and said whoever negotiated this deal must be so stupid because Mexico and Canada are using this deal to take advantage of the United States. Well, Donald, it was you who negotiated that deal during your first term. The USMCA, the United States, Mexico, Canada agreement was your deal. It replaced NAFTA, and you bragged about what a big, beautiful deal that was during the first administration. Do you remember that? Let me show you what went down. So here's Donald Trump at the press conference with Emmanuel Macron attacking the USMCA, Trump's own deal. Play the clip.
I mean, who can blame them if they made these great deals with the United States, took advantage of the United States on manufacturing, on just about everything, every aspect that you could imagine they took advantage of. I look at some of these agreements, I'd read them at night and I'd say, who would ever sign a thing like this? So the tariffs will go forward, yes, and we're going to make up a lot of territory. All we want is reciprocal. We want reciprocity. We want to have the same. So if somebody charges us, we charge them. It's very simple, but it'll be very good for our country. Our country will be extremely liquid and rich again. Plus,
just so you know, we come with receipts here at the MeidasTouch Network. Now let me show you from the first Trump administration where he said the USMCA is this great deal. He loves the letters USMCA. He said it replaced NAFTA, which was a really bad deal, and now there was going to be a really good deal. This was Trump's deal. Here, play this clip.
It's my great honor to announce that we have successfully completed negotiations on a brand new deal to terminate and replace NAFTA and the NAFTA trade agreements with an incredible new U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement called USMCA. It sort of just works. MCA. USMCA. And that'll be the name, I guess, that 99% of the time we'll be hearing. USMCA has a good ring to it. I have long contended that NAFTA was perhaps the worst trade deal ever made. Since NAFTA's adoption, the United States racked up trade deficits totaling more than $2 trillion. And it's a much higher number than that. With Canada and Mexico, it lost vast amounts of money and lost 4.1 million manufacturing jobs and 1 in 4 auto jobs. Lost about 25% of our auto jobs, even more than that. Throughout the campaign, I promised to renegotiate NAFTA, and today we have kept that promise. But for 25 years as a civilian, as a businessman, I used to say, how could anybody have signed a deal like NAFTA? And I watched New England and so many other places where I was, just the factories were leaving, the jobs were leaving, people were being fired, and we can't have that. So we have negotiated this new agreement based on the principle of fairness and reciprocity. To me, it's the most important word in trade because we've been treated so unfairly by so many nations all over the world. There were changes.
That's what I mean. Either this guy is just so unprepared, cognitively addled, or just utterly reckless when it comes to things like that. Then there's the times when he's just outright malicious and probably cognitively addled as well, but malicious. You got Donald Trump today having the United States of America basically join the axis of evil with Russia and North Korea to oppose a resolution condemning Russia in the United Nations as the aggressor of the unlawful war. It started in Ukraine. It was the U.S., Belarus, Russia, North Korea. That was the group. Why would America ever want to be in that group? He then had Donald Trump say that he believes Putin would accept European peacekeepers in Ukraine as part of this big, beautiful deal that he's negotiating. The Associated Press picked it up and they said, Trump expresses hope Russia's war in Ukraine is nearing an endgame as he meets with French President Macron. But when you read that Associated Press article and you go kind of 4 or 5 paragraphs in, it's buried there. But to me, this is the lead. Putin said Monday that he had not discussed resolving the conflict in Ukraine in detail with Trump, and nor did Russian and American negotiating teams when they met in Saudi Arabia last week. Putin also said Russia does not rule out European countries participating in a peace settlement. But according to Putin, they're not even talking about this. So what is Donald Trump doing right now as Americans are absolutely livid and just pissed at him? As I mentioned earlier, he's sending emails like this, inviting people to Mar-a-Lago. It's kind of fake, bogus emails. You want to come to my luxurious home? This is the type of stuff that he's dangling like the 2-bit con artist he is at his supporters. And he keeps on talking about this adventure that he wants to go on with Elon Musk into Fort Knox, where he's going to search for gold and there's going to be tons of gold there. This is what he thinks about his supporters. He thinks he can rip their Medicaid away, cause prices to surge, inflation's back, and more plane crashes today, another plane incident earlier as well, where people in an Atlanta airport had to be evacuated too. Like, what's going on? He's like, we're going to just search for gold. We're going to find the gold. Here, watch this.
You know, where is all this? Where's the money going? We have found hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud so far, and we've just started. We're actually going to Fort Knox to see if the gold is there, because maybe somebody stole the gold. Tons of gold. So I think it was actually, there was a lot of genius in sending it. We're trying to find out if people are working. And so we're sending a letter to people. Please tell us what you did last week. If people don't respond, it's very possible that there is no such person or they're not working.
Yeah, he says that as he posts these photos with Elon Musk, who is just despised now by the American people. This is an official post from the White House. Donald Trump and Elon Musk just laughing as they're taking away people's Medicaid and taking away people's services. Donald Trump, as part of that speech, by the way, said, Elon is so caring. He uses the expression caring. He's a caring person. Here, play this clip.
Tremendous fraud, tremendous waste. And when you think of what it is, you know, Elon uses the expression caring. If we had people that just cared a little bit when they did contracts, when they negotiated with outside vendors on behalf of the United States, that's what I'm doing now. I'm negotiating for the people of the United States. So we're doing a great job of it. I will say we found it'll be hundreds of billions of dollars of waste and fraud and abuse. Thank you.
Really? And then Donald Trump says that this month was the greatest month in presidential history. He says, everybody's saying what an incredible month it is. Here, play this clip.
Done as quickly as possible. And we've made a great deal of progress. People are saying it was the best month for a president in our country's history. I hope that's right, but I feel it's right. We've done a lot of things in a very short period of time, 4 weeks.
All right. Well, let's check in with some of these Republican town halls, like this town hall here with Republican Congress member Rich McCormick. I've showed you this one before, but I think showing it right after what Donald Trump says has maximum impact. Let's play it.
I'll pause whenever you want, and you can go and yell all you want.
What you, congressmen, and your fellow congressmen are going to do to rein in the megalomaniac in the White House.
I remember having the same discussion with Republicans when Biden was elected. The funny thing is, you're sitting here and a lot of you would probably say those January 6s who are yelling just as loud as you, who are upset just like you.
Hey, let's restore some order.
So
Stop
yelling at me is not going to get any answer, okay? I've seen Game of Thrones too. Thank you. Let's go ahead and move on, because if you're not going to listen to the answer, we might as well not discuss it, right? The REINS Act, which reins in executive power for both parties, whoever's in party. I don't want to see the president make all the decisions. I don't. I didn't want to see. Do you not want to hear that I just said, I answered it directly. I said, I don't want to see any president be too powerful. Look, I'm the one saying, let's work together, and you're the one screaming at me. Okay? Let's be fair. I'm telling you how you solve this, and you're saying, no, we don't want to hear that.
Then you can just see how Donald Trump was just so utterly outclassed by French President Emmanuel Macron in the Oval Office, as Donald Trump tried to spew his lies about Europe not paying its fair share to Ukraine. Watch Emmanuel Macron in real time just check Donald Trump. Here, play it.
There was a one to aggress.
Again, just so you understand, Europe is loaning the money to Ukraine. They get their money back.
No, in fact, to be frank, we paid 60% of the total default, and it was through, like the US, loans, guarantee, grants, and we provided real money. To be clear, we have 230 billion frozen assets in Europe, Russian assets, but this is not as a collateral of a loan because this is not our belonging. So they are frozen. If at the end of the day, in the negotiation we will have with Russia, they're ready to give it to us, super. It will be loan at the end of the day, and Russia would have paid for that.
If you believe that, it's okay with me.
Mr. President,
if they get their money back, we don't, and now we do. But that's only fair.
Then Donald Trump was asked, like, can you explain your rationale for opposing the resolution that called Russia the aggressor in the UN today? Here, play this clip.
Can you explain the rationale, sir, in the U.S.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Can you explain the rationale in having the U.S. vote against the UN resolutions that Ukraine proposed and also the U.S. proposed?
I would rather not explain it now, but it's sort of self-evident, I think.
And then finally, Donald Trump has the Department of Justice, and specifically the United States Attorney for Washington, D.C. This guy, Edward Martin Jr., refers to himself now, this is the Department of Justice, as President Trump's lawyer. We are proud to fight to protect his leadership as our president, and we're standing vigilant against entities like the Associated Press that refuse to put America first. That's just so utterly embarrassing. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Hit subscribe and let's get to 5 million subscribers.
The truth is more important than ever. Check out our new Truth Over Lies collection at store.MeidasTouch.com. All 100% USA union made.